Welcome everybody to Pedal of the Month number 25. What we do here every month is we build a bitchin' guitar effects pedal. We see what makes it tick. We play around with it a little bit, and then at the beginning of the following month, I give it away for free to one of my Patreon supporters. If that sounds interesting to you, go over to patreon.com/tonepriest, support the channel, and you will be entered in this month's drawing. Alright, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, tonepriest, what have you got for us this month? Hang on a second, I'm getting all the fingerprints off. I want to make it look presentable, because it's pretty special. Blammo! This month, we are featuring and giving away the tonepriest Chorim. What in the hell is a tonepriest Chorim? Great question, thank you for asking. It is the world's best overdrive pedal. And I say that with definitive authority, I guess, in my opinion. What is it? We have two circuits in this one pedal. This first one here that's controlled by the silver knobs, which by the way are solid aluminum. This is a clone of a Cornish ST-2 boost overdrive. Oh my god. Does it get any better than that? But wait, there's more. This section here, which is controlled by the red knobs, which are also solid aluminum, is a clone of the Nordland ODR-C, which is an upgraded version of the very famous and popular Noble's ODR-1. The ODR-1 has 3 knobs. This has 6 knobs, so more knobs is better. Yeah, we even got an order switcher here, so you can flip the order of which one comes first. But let's see how it sounds. We're going to do a full mix demo. After the demo, we'll talk a little bit more about it, and maybe twist some knobs, see what it can do, and then we'll take it from there. All right, fellas, full mix demo. The vocals are the original isolated vocals. Everything else is yours truly. All the guitar parts were played using this. All right, Tommy. Hit it.
Fast talking mama.
Blammo! How fun was that, fellas? That was pretty good. Not bad for a bass player. Alright, here she is. As we discussed before, we have the Cornish ST-2 and the Nordland ODR-C. The ODR-C was invented by the original inventor that made the ODR-1. And I believe the criticism or the downsides of the original ODR-1 was there was some reliability issues. But it was loved by lots of studio musicians, all the big names you've heard of before. Tom Bukovac, Tim Pierce, people like that. And they liked it more than the Tube Screamer because, you know, Tube Screamer does that Tube Screamer thing where it's not transparent. It fundamentally alters the balance between treble and bass, and it's got that mid thing going on. This is more transparent. Like all overdrive pedals, it is described to have amp-like distortion. And yeah, I think out of all the overdrive pedals I've built, is it amp-like? It's good. It's very good. For pedal distortion, for that kind of thing, it's one of the best, for sure. Now, the ODR-C has improvements. It has this overdrive decompress. It's supposed to uncompress or lessen the compression of your distorted signal and open it up a little bit. It's got this nice mid control, which I believe works in conjunction with the Spectrum. They're kind of tied together, as we'll see on the circuit. And I believe they're probably interactive. But the mid control does what you would think it would do. It controls the mid. And then the Spectrum, it's sort of like a presence or brightness. It kind of opens up the tone more than the ODC. The ODC is very subtle, whereas the Spectrum is really nice. And the Spectrum control I really like. If you turn it one way, you got kind of more of a... I don't want to keep using the adjective open. Is that an adjective? Has an openness to it. It reminds me of one of the controls on the Vemoram TSV-808. Where you turn it one way and it just kind of reminds me of like an Angus sound, kind of like the high mid is present and whatever, but you turn it the other way and it gets a little bit more compressed. Okay, also we have this low cut, which is really nice. If you turn it all the way down, you got more of a Fender amp style sound, and if you turn it all the way up, you get more of a Marshall sound. It cuts the low end, obviously, and that's what it does. Okay, moving on to the Cornish ST-2. This was a boost/overdrive pedal that Pete Cornish built for David Gilmour. So you know it's going to be good. And that's what it does. It has up to 15 dBs of boost, so it certainly does the boost thing really well, and you can push the front end of your amp. And even if you're trying to play it like bedroom volumes and you can't crank your amp to get that nice distortion, overdrive, and saturation, you can turn your amp volume down and you crank up the level on this, and that'll drive the front end of your amp, and you can let the amp do more of the heavy lifting as far as getting distortion, and then you really will have amp-like distortion. That goes for tube amps. I'm not so sure about solid state, but that's that. Fairly simple. Treble, bass, gain, and this has a really nice overdrive sound as well. And then now, if you see up here, we have an order switcher, so you can put one in front of the other or vice versa. What that'll do, if the switch is pointed in this direction, the ST-2 is going first, in which case the level doesn't make you louder, it drives the ODR harder. And that really just compresses your signal and gives you a lot more saturation, and you can get into distortion territory. And if you drive it hard enough, mess around with the EQ enough, you could probably get into fuzz territory as well. And then, of course, if you flip the switch in this direction, you put the ODR-C in front of the ST-2, and they each have their own sound, who comes first and whatnot. I put this guy first because, and I'm going to have to open the back to show you. Hang tight. Alright, let's open this puppy up, see what we got. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, I even put a battery in here. Check that out. I don't do that too often. Here we are in the guts of the Chorim pedal. Now, this guy here is the ST-2. These boards were made by Ion Effects, and as always, they've gone an extra mile and given us extra stuff. On the ST-2, we have selectable true bypass or buffered bypass. And everybody loves their buffers to give you a nice strong signal. And so when the pedals are in bypass mode, you will have the buffer in it. And if you have long cable runs or giant pedal boards, this will keep your signal nice and strong. And even if you put the ODR first, if this guy is off, the signal is just basically going from here to here, and the buffer still will do its buffering thing. Ion Effects recommends to use the buffered bypass. They say it almost always is better. We'll play around with that, see if we can notice any differences, but there you go, there's the guts to this sucker. Alright, so I've been building pedals for probably a little over 5 years now, and I've been honing my craft, and I've been wanting to make something that we could offer to sell to the world, so we can leave our mark on the music industry. And I've built tons and tons of overdrives, and these two are my favorites, so I put the two of them together in here. And they also work very, very well together. As you can see on the ST-2, we have a treble and a bass control. And over here on the ODR, we have a mid control. And we have the low cut control. And so these two pedals aren't like two random pedals you stick together and hopefully they work well together. The functions that they have just blend together so well. And there is so much versatility in this pedal. So that's why I'm making this my first one that I'm going to offer for sale. The flip side of that is they are both extremely labor intensive to build, high parts count. This sucker is going to be expensive as hell, and nobody's probably going to buy it because of that. But that's unfortunate because this thing is amazing. Like I said, I've built tons and tons and tons of overdrives. This is the shit right here. I think the runner-up would be the Cornerstone Gladio. That'll give this a run for its money, but I think with the versatility of this and all the controls and functions, this sucker takes the cake. But anyway, yeah, gonna be super expensive, but if you want the best, you got the best. You call KISS, and if you want great tone, call the tonepriest. All right, let me show you how we did the full mix demo. And then we'll take it from there. All right, hang tight, fellas. All right, and this is what is going to take us to our Gypsy Road. We're using this Bentley Les Paul shaped object for guitar 1, which will probably be panned to the right. And then we are going into our flagship Chorim pedal here. And this is the settings. The order, we're doing the ODR-C first, going into the ST-1, ST-2, the Cornish. Because for this guitar, it's kind of the focal point of the song, and we don't want it too compressed. We want a nice open sound. So we're going into the ODR to get some of our crunchy drive, and then the ST-2 here is just kind of boosting it and livening it up a little bit. So that's why we're doing that. A tiny little bit of delay. Prince of Darkness amplifier going into a Univox 2x12. We got a greenback right here, and this Shure 57 is kind of on the dust cap, like right in the middle of the dust cap is lined up with the middle of the microphone. Kind of want to get that nice fizzy sound, and to offset that, this microphone right here, it's a clone of a 57 MXL, I think, and it's kind of pointed at the middle of the speaker cone, and that'll give us a darker sound, and we'll blend the two and it will be awesome. Alright, for these 3 demonstrations I've gone back into Reaper, and I'm just going to have the isolated guitar tracks with a little bit of drum so you can have a frame of reference, but it's the raw guitar sound. I've taken away all the effects, any reverbs or anything crazy like that, so it's just the raw recorded guitar sounds. And the only other change I made is when I recorded the guitars, I recorded with 2 mics, 2 different speakers, and guitar 1 was on the right, guitar 2 was on the left. I'm taking the 2 speakers and I'm hard panning them. and a little bit of nudge for stereo separation. But other than that, this is the raw recorded guitar sounds for what we did here. Alright fellas, for guitar 2 on the left, we want a little bit more of a chimey, a little bit cleaner tone, so we're using the world's heaviest teleparts caster that I built. This sucker's gonna weigh 9.5 pounds, but it sounds amazing. Kent Armstrong pickups. These suckers are rippers, man. They're giving the Scarred humbuckers a run for their money. Back in here, we've made some changes to the dials here. We're going into the Cornish first. And we get the level and the gain kind of down, 11 o'clock. We don't want to gain up the first stage here. We want to kind of keep it clean, just tiniest little bit of compression, tiniest little bit of hair on the tone. And then we go into the Nordland here. And again, you can see the drive is way down. We got the spectrum all the way up. This will give us a nice chimey high end. The overdrive character is all the way down. This is a very subtle setting. It's, you know, put it where you want it. Low cut, level, blah, blah, blah. Tiny little bit of delay. Same thing, Prince of Darkness. Haven't moved the mics. Alright, that's guitar 2. Alright, finally, for the lead guitar solo, we went back to the Les Paul object there. What we are doing here with our Chorim pedal, though, is we are starting, we have the order with the Cornish pedal first. Get a bunch of gain, can't see that because of the glare, but we got a bunch of gain and a bunch of level. Cut the bass a little bit, got a little bit of treble, but we got the gain and level set, so we're slamming the Nordland here, the ODR-C, and this has been moved, but level to taste. The overdrive character all the way up. We got a whole bunch of gain going on. We're cutting the bass because we're trying to get a Marshall sound, and Marshall's JCM 800s, that kind of thing, don't have a ton of bass. Mid, you know, get a little bump to the mid because we want to cut through, and then the spectrum to where we like it, kind of trebly and kind of nice sounding, I think. Yeah, so that's what we did. Same thing over here, just a little teeny tiny bit of delay, just to, I don't know, make it sound good. Double vision, baby. Alright, fellas, this video's getting long, so we're not going to go through a detailed knob twiddling demo like we normally do. Like I said before, I've got all the parts to make 5 of these. One of them is for me, One of them is for my Patreon supporters, and then we'll build the other 3 and we'll offer them for sale. And the other thing I want to mention about the tonepriest Chorim here is, yeah, it's going to be expensive, but we have spared no expense in the selection of components. The capacitors are all overrated. Everything about this is made for reliability. I've tried to think of everything. I mean, there's a tooth washer on every jack. Soft click switches, the expensive ones. This right here is a Carling switch, the order selector here. That costs almost $5 in itself. Each one of these knobs is like a $1.75 a piece, and you know, we got the fancy sparkle enclosure. All the components are top quality. I've built these to last, hopefully, through the apocalypse. But time will tell. I'll probably croak before the pedal does. Anyway, if you're interested in one of these, we'll do another video once I get the other 3 made, and we'll go through the knob twiddling. But what a great sounding pedal. I really hit a home run with this sucker right here. Cornish ST-2, Nordland ODR-C. And when I was recording the demo and just kind of fiddling around, a couple of times I was just shocked at how good this sounded. I was playing one little part, one little riff, and it sounded almost exactly like Van Halen, the song Fools from Women and Children First. Fellas, check this out. I do a little woodshedding so I can like try and do a little bit of that. I mean, that's that playing's way beyond my abilities, but we can do a little bit. And maybe you'll agree that, holy crap, that is uncanny how it sounded. And then my solo. You like that? And I think that was the best part of that song. That I was really happy with the tone of the guitar solo. Kind of reminded me of like Aerosmith, like the end of Last Child. Not Joe Perry, the other guy, Brad Whitford, I think, plays that solo. And I think I was getting a little bit of those kind of vibes from that. So I'm really happy. All right, everybody, once again, beginning of next month, September, all my Patreon supporters will be entered into the raffle to win this very pedal here, serial number 2. If that interests you, patreon.com/tonepriest. Other than that, I want to thank all my Patreon supporters, subscribers, viewers, thumbs uppers, commenters, all yours. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video. Rock on and prosper.
Open Klingon style.